Okay. Put it on a poll. Maybe this will work. Get a little much over here, so I'm going to turn it like this. Maybe. Let's try it out. Live now. All right. You're going to have to tell me if you can actually see pencil strokes and everything on here. So I'm kind of out of my element here. This is my work desk, and it's not really set up for drawing. Whenever I sketch, like, whatever the main, like, subject is of the drawing, like, just kind of rough it out so you can see where it's going to fit on the page. So this is just a really light sketch. You probably can't see this at all. Just really light representation because it's probably going to need lots of changes as the drawing progresses. Now, this drawing is a continuation in a series I've done since I was a little kid. And these type of drawings that me and my brother would do, we would just draw as many things as we could possibly fit into space. And later, when I finally was writing a blog post about it, I decided to name these type of drawings, and I called them what's going on drawings. So that sort of seemed to be a way to encapsulate sort of the feel of all of them. It's just like there's a million things going on in the drawing, so like what's going on? It seems like to be the place to be because there's a million characters all in one place doing a million things. And me and my brother used to do a couple of them every year, and we would do them like themed. Halloween theme was a big one that we would do. Anyway, there's a whole blog post. I'll put up a link to it. But then I did one for a mission trip that I went on, and I did it. I actually videoed that one so you could see me do it live, but this was 10 years ago, and like the camera quality was horrible. You could really see the drawing at all. And that was actually the last time I did one of these. It's just life's been busy, and I just haven't had the time to do one of these. And so I've been wanting to do another one for a long time. And then this came up. A friend of mine who's a mechanic did a bunch of free work on my truck for me, just out of the goodness of his heart, really. He just wanted to help me and my wife out. We don't have a lot of money right now and have all this stuff going wrong with my truck. So he just decided, he took it in and did it. He didn't tell me he was going to do that. And then he put like $600 of work into it or something like that, or maybe even more. And I want to pay him back somehow, but I have no idea. Like, how do you even begin to pay someone back for that much? Like giving you that much. I'm trying to think, like, what am I good at? I'm not a mechanic, but what I can do is draw. And well, maybe it'd be cool to do a really cool drawing for him. And then it's like I've been wanting to do one of these big what's going on drawings for a long time. And so kind of merged the two ideas into this. And this one's going to be a little different because I'm drawing this car really big in the middle. And usually these drawings are nothing is that big in it. We'll see how this comes out. I might not be happy with it, but let's see. So what I'm drawing here is a 1972 AMC Gremlin, because I talked to his wife and found out that's like his dream car. Kind of crazy, but it's his dream car. Most people like Mustangs and Camaros and whatever, muscle cars. He likes Gremlins. That's his car, and so that's what I'm going to try to draw. Most iconic part of the Mustang is this back end. Not Mustang, the Gremlin is this back end. There's a little tiny like scoop right there at the back. And I'm actually aware of that because I used to have a little toy of a Gremlin as a kid that I played with a lot. And I just remember that it's almost like a little spoiler, but really small. And then this back kind of triangular back area it's almost where you would think a back window would go. On a Gremlin, but there isn't one there. Give myself a little more room for that. Also trying to challenge myself to draw more. Like I can read my story on my blog or whatever, but I'm a person who I've been drawing since I could hold a pencil in my hand, and it's my favorite thing ever. Like I just draw on everything all the time. Like school worksheets, I was always drawing all over and getting in trouble by the teachers, and all my notes for classes have always just been covered in doodles. And over the years, I've tried like honing my vision for like what am I as an artist, and I dabble a little bit in painting, like oil painting, things like that. And I just decided that I'm really not that good at like traditional art unless it's cartoons. Just kind of can sound like a crutch for not being very good at art. But I think when I put my mind to it, like I can do pretty good like pastel sketches and like portraits and things like that. But it's really not as fun to me. Like what's really fun to me is like exaggerating and imagination and creating like things in sort of a cartoon universe and stuff. And when I was in grade school, like kids used to always call it like, hey, you're a good drawer, which is not the right word for it, but they would always say, you're a good drawer. Can you draw me a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle? And I actually made some money drawing Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles for all my classmates and stuff. Because elementary school, I think I was considered the best kid in the whole school at drawing, or at least in my grade, But then I got to middle school and found out, there's a couple other guys that are really good too. And so like we were the good drawers. And maybe up through high school, it's always considered one of the best. But it was kind of a reality check when I got to college because I wasn't even close to the best anymore. And I sort of took it for granted all those years that like I'm just really good. And like as a kid, I had time, all the time to draw. But one thing I'm finding out is as I get older and you get more responsibilities, you get less and less time to do those things that you really want to do unless you make time. You have to make time for it. And I just haven't been for like actually most of the years after college, which kind of sucks because like what artistic ability is really, it's like muscle. It's you use it or lose it. It's just so true. And like I almost don't even know if I believe that much until it really started to happen to me over the last decade or so. Like I have not been making time to draw. My drawing pretty much consists of like some doodles on the side of my notes at work or something. And every now and then, like I find a way to. I'm a graphic designer, and every now and then I find a way to make it part of my job. Like this design is going to have some hand drawn element in it, and that way I get to draw for work. But other than that, I've just rarely been making time. There's exceptions and stuff, but like for the most part, I'm not working those muscles enough, and like I'm finding out I'm like kind of sucking at drawing anymore. Like it doesn't come to me as fast as it used to, and like a lot of skills I learned over the years kind of sort of fade a little bit. My drawings are a little bit like just looser and sloppier than they have been in other times. So I'm always like, I really need to get back into drawing every single day. I have to. It's not fair to myself and my talents and the talent God's given me. Like, I think God's given everybody some talents and gifts and something, and mine's been art. And I'm always sort of convicted of Matthew, I think it's 25, about the guy who buried the money that was given to him instead of investing it. And that's sort of what I've done with my artistic talents for a long time lately, like just not using them, and that's not cool. And I can sort of explain all the reasons why I haven't had time for stuff, but I don't want to get into that. But I've probably been placing too much priority on some things that I don't need to. And then one of the things too I found out, sort of been finding out recently, is focus is everything. Oh my goodness. Like I wish I had had a mentor tell me that like way back. Like if you want to do anything in life really good, and in my experience, I'm speaking mostly of like the creative things, writing, drawing, painting, whatever. If you ever want to get really good at those, you need to focus all of your energy into it. Like it's hard. Like I'm someone who, like over the years, I found interest in a lot of different things. Like for several years, I was really into snowboarding, and for several years, I was into longboarding. And I'd spend all my time with my friends doing all these things. And so I wasn't drawing. And I tried to sometimes, but it's just like when you have all these other things that you're interested in, you want to do, like your focus starts to get shattered. And like you find like you're not getting anywhere with, like for me, with my art, I was not getting anywhere with it. Just sort of maintaining a status quo. Every now and then you're going to hear my pencil sharpener, so sorry. So yeah, like, and I had this friend. This guy's so cool. He's a woodworker, and he wasn't really ever known for like drawing or painting or anything like that. Like he like makes cabinets and bookshelves and things out of wood like that for customers and stuff, and he's really good at that. But I'd seen some of his drawings. I wasn't really impressed. And then all of a sudden one day he told me, we were roommates for a while. He told me, he's like, dude, I want to paint. I want to start painting. And in my head, I was thinking like, but yeah, dude, like anybody can paint if they want, but like it takes a lot of practice, and you got to take classes and get really good at it, and like learn techniques and stuff like that. But he's like, nah, I'm just gonna go check out a book from the library. And he checked out this book. It was called like Paint Like the Masters. And he just started painting, like, and following the instructions in this book. And like I watched this painting that he was doing start like over the months, like start coming through, and like man, like it looked like he was airbrushing it. His blending was like amazing, and like the some of the techniques this book was teaching him was just like incredible. And like his painting was actually coming out better than anything I've ever painted. Like he just was like knocking this thing out of the park. Um, but he's always been a guy who struggled with like holding down jobs. Like he gets in fights with people a lot, and like gets fired, and he doesn't really interact with people very well. He's kind of like your tortured artist, really. um, and so like a lot of times he'd be out of work, and so he'd be painting, and then later he wanted to write. And well, anyway, like back to the painting, like he got the painting done, and this thing was a masterpiece. And like what it was is like he poured all of himself into that for I can't remember how many months it was. It was all he ever did. He would come home and just lock himself away in his room and paint, 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 paint. And I was always jealous of how he could do that. I always had like this FOMO, fear of missing out. Like I always wonder what my friends were up to, and like, and two, it was in the years when I was single, so like I wanted to make sure I was getting out there and like meeting people and like, hoping to meet a girl, you know. So that's kind of a key to why I haven't been using my art all these years. Is I'm kind of just hoping to meet someone and be like being out there, even though I'm not that type of person. I don't like being out in bars and things like that, but I couldn't figure out any other way to be out there and be meeting people. I was wasting years just not doing anything. So this guy, anyway, later after the whole painting thing, like he decided he wanted to write a book, like a sci-fi book. And again, like the guy's never written anything in his life. He's not a reader either, which I love to read. And I was just like, dude, you have to at least read. Like you have to know like what's out there and like how to compose grammar and vocabulary and just all these type of literary things that like he didn't like he never went to school for any of this. But this was when he was out of a job, and like he got his laptop and he went out and by a stream every day and just typed away all day long for months. And then he self-published it, like he's not making any money on it. I don't know if anybody even knows his book exists really, but it's on Amazon, it's on Google. It's called Nichols Fortune if you look it up. And I read it, and it's definitely like he's got room for improvement for sure, especially if he's open to like honest criticism and stuff. But I was actually not too horrible, and but he just did it. Like he just did it. Like that's what is so hard to get yourself to do, and you want like about the things you want to do in life. Like Nike had it right, man. Just do it. Quit making excuses and just do it. That's what he did. He has a book out there now. I'm kind of jealous of him. He's like, he has like some good paintings out there and a book and everything, things I wanted to do, and I just can never find the time. So as this drawing's taking shape, you might notice like, maybe if you're looking closely, like some things are kind of maybe not measured right, which are going to cause problems in the overall when I go to like really finish this. And that's something I need to work on practicing too. Is like one is I was just sketching this lightly to figure out where it was going to fit, and then somewhere along the line I started to actually put in windows and things, which you do. Like eventually you have to do that, but maybe I did it too quickly before I got all my measurements right, because man, when I get back here and start putting these little bumper things on, like it's going to be hard to make them fit right. Mechanical things are like a world of difference to draw versus people. Like it's a lot less forgiving because they're so rigid, especially like known mechanical things. Like this is an actual car, and you can compare it to photos of this car, this Gremlin, and you can see how off I am and stuff. But like if it was a person, you know, like especially a known person, you get the nose a little big or something. Nobody's ever gonna know. I had an art teacher teach us that one time, and it was like, oh, really? You don't have to get the nose exactly perfect, unless you're doing a portrait for someone. Like, but if you're just drawing a person, like nobody knows that you didn't get that fold just right on that article of clothing or whatever. Me and probably a lot of other people in school might just be fretting over trying to get the details right. It's like, no, like no one's gonna know that shirt didn't have 3 buttons instead of 5 or whatever. One of the things I hate about drawing mechanical things is like these layers of things that they put on cars. I'm not even sure why. It's probably this thing. There's like a metal thing right over the window, and it's really thin, so you have to follow that window line exact. And I think it like probably keeps rain from going in the window, and it goes out here at the edge, and it's this fine little thing. Things like that, if you get them too big, it sort of ruins everything. I really should have kind of sketched out myself some perspective lines so I can keep everything in perspective. Like this front hood here needs to match like the back of the car, or well, like the diminishing line back way back out here. This hood line needs to follow the bumper line. They need to come together at some point way past my page. And then the bottom of the car here and the roof line up here, like they're gonna meet somewhere way out here. Like a 2-point perspective on this car. Autos, they always have like all these kind of soft lines, like curves. And so like you can't just draw a square bumper on the back of this. Like this line right here is like a rounded like line, and so and it's a chrome bumper, so like we're really gonna have to pick out that bend in it using reflections. That's how you like on chrome. Everything's defined by reflection. There's also kind of there's a little bend like right there, just in the shape of the bumper. Like I'm always kind of amazed at the things they do when designing cars and trucks and stuff. Like it's just this subtle little bend in the bumper. Okay, well, I think I got a good enough start for today. It's time to go home. Continue on this tomorrow. I hope you enjoyed my first live video. It's probably pretty rough. Nobody was actually watching it live, but maybe you can go find it on my channel. We'll see you later.